Tonight on Insights, we are getting a congressional update. Joining us tonight is Congressman Jack Bergman. Thank you for coming in.
Hey, great to be with you.
All right, so let's first talk about the elephant in the room. We've got a budget to settle here in about 3 weeks. What are you hoping to see in that budget?
Well, number one, fiscal responsibility in a timely manner, which in some cases is easier said than done, but we, as Congress, need to do the right thing to keep the government open. But that does not allow the government to just do things the way it wants and wastefully spend taxpayers' dollars. So I'll be back in DC next week, and there's going to be a lot of intense negotiations going on. But we don't have a revenue problem in our country. We have a spending problem. And pretty much everybody who understands how things work and how money is spent realizes that. So it's up to us, since we're the party in the majority, to bring good reduced spending proposals to the board, get it voted on, and get the government to stay open. And if we have to do a short-term CR, which is a continuing resolution to keep it open, that's kind of a stopgap measure. I would support one that is extremely limited, maybe maximum 30 days. Don't let things drag on. But there has to be some reality in where we stop spending money and where we put money into things like, very simple, border security.
Sure. You mentioned you would support that CR. I know some House Republicans have said they even would support a shutdown. Is that something that you are hoping to avoid?
You know, a shutdown shows that people aren't at the table. We need to do everything we can to avoid a shutdown, which means everybody has to come to the table and really work to find a way. And it's not going to be easy, because the wasteful spending or the unaccounted for spending that we've got, it's rampant and it's too much. So the more you do it, the more you waste, and the more it costs taxpayers their hard-earned dollars.
Are you confident that you can avoid a shutdown in the next 24, 23 days now?
Not 100%.
Gotcha. All right. Some House Republicans have also said that they do want less spending than what was agreed upon in that bill to raise the debt ceiling between Speaker McCarthy and President Biden. Where do you stand on that? You said you want less spending, but would you still support something by the end of this month?
Again, if the right package comes, and we have seen over the long term of government negotiations, it usually boils down to the 11th hour. And you got to get everybody to come to the table. We're coming back after being gone for basically 6 weeks, being back in the district, doing what we do to reconnect with our constituents. But now it's time to get back to work, because we have September 30th looming in front of us.
All right, let's switch gears and talk about the possibility of an impeachment inquiry against the president over his alleged potential involvement with his son's business dealings. Do you see that as a possibility within the next few months, and is that something you would even support?
Well, you know, when you have folks like Jamie Comer, who's the Republican from Kentucky, who's the chairman of Oversight, and you have Jim Jordan from Ohio, who is chairman of Judiciary. They're both lawyers, and they're both good lawyers, and they both understand how to move things forward, in this case with an impeachment inquiry. And the goal is to get all the information that is potentially out there before moving toward impeachment proceedings. And there's a difference. But the inquiry, absolutely, and I've seen some stuff as recently as today where Chairman Comer is doing just that as we move forward here.
Gotcha. So supporting the impeachment inquiry, and if that does end up moving forward, would you still support even articles of impeachment if it seems inevitable that it would fail in the Senate?
Well, you know, it's too early to say yes or no on that. It's kind of like any investigation. Let's let it unfold to see what's there. The old saying, if there's smoke, there's fire. Well, if there's a fire, we're going to put it out.
Gotcha. Let's now move to 2024. I know we've got plenty of time to talk about the 2024 campaign. It is going to be a big year, especially with the presidential campaign. A lot of Republicans have already voiced that they will support whoever the nominee is. What's your stance on that?
Yeah, absolutely. We need a Republican in the White House. Actually, we need a conservative in the White House. Goes all the way back to what we talked about earlier as far as spending. We have a White House for the last 2.5+ years who's just writing blank checks, and they're mortgaging our grandkids' future with those blank checks. We need someone who understands fiscal conservatism, but just understands how to run a business, not a government, because businesses are usually successful. And the only way governments are successful is because businesses are successful. And right now, our businesses are hurting.
Gotcha. So someone who knows how to run a business, does that mean that you're leaning towards supporting former President Trump?
If Donald Trump is on the ticket in 2024, absolutely.
All right. Congressman Bergman, thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Absolutely.